some rubber bands and leave my ass alone. Look, I get my money, get my time before I'm gone. Invest in me with morality or leave my ass alone. I'm the prayer that'll save you when your eye level to chrome. Give me space, give me some rubber bands and leave my ass alone.
You are not an OG to me.
Hello, how are you doing? It's your girl, Nay, the Goddess, your Aura Goddess, and today's Divine Discussion, we will be talking about a few helpful tips and pointers that will help alleviate trauma that is stored in your womanhood, in your vagina, in your womb, in between those hips, to alleviate that stiffness. Rather you were somebody who was intimately taken advantage of, or a woman who may have been always in fear because of the environment that you were in, or always in discomfort for whatever reason, cause, however you may have grew up and you continue to practice in your adulthood. We're going to talk about how you can just relieve some of that tension, some of that trauma, that hurt in you, how to heal that energy, to heal that trauma, to heal that stiffness, to heal that hurt, to heal that pain that is in your womanhood, your vagina, your womb, all of the area that is in the hip area, between the hips, between the legs. So the first thing that I would recommend that would help with that would help ease that, is releasing the trauma, is actually connecting to your womb, connecting to the vagina. If you were somebody who was intimately taken advantage of and you can still feel traces or certain sexual positions or sexual things that you do not like to do because you was taken advantage of, first and foremost, I just want to say that you deserved better. And I really truly hope that you knew that you did not deserve that. Unfortunately, it was just the consciousness of the environment that you were in. And so what would be a good help for that, the start of being able to alleviate that, would be releasing it. Acknowledge the fact that it wasn't your fault. It was just a matter of environment, a matter of ignorance. I don't mean ignorance in a way where you were stupid. You just didn't know. And the people around you, they were aware of whatever they were aware of, and you just happened to be in a bad situation. So please understand that. And with all that energy, that hurt that you felt, you need to go to that space. Go into that womb. No, because I really want you to see this. We're not going to play. I really want you to see wherever it is that it has hurt you, wherever it was that you can still feel. You may feel feelings of regret or feelings of hurt, or just remember that harm because your mind and your body consciously remembers that. And what you feel with that energy, release it. Just release it. Feel it moving from you. When I say release it, that energy that you feel, imagine it being released from your energy. And it may take a minute. You may need to release more than one time, more than 2 times. You may have to release every day. And that is okay. You need to take that time out to release however many times that you need, every time that you think about it, and create a space where you are able to think about it. If as soon as you are able to get a chance, lock yourself in the room. Maybe you have time when the kids are at school. Maybe it's a day off and you at home not doing nothing, and the kids with their daddy or their grandma or wherever. So you just go to that quiet space. You just go into your room. You close that door because this is time that you need. And you just go and you think about that energy. What hurts you? Think about the time, even if it may not been intimately taken advantage of, or maybe this is something that happened on top of you being intimately taken advantage of, and all those fears that you felt growing up around survival, being frustrated, having to fight, not being able to be your feminine self because you always had to protect yourself. Release all of that energy. All the times you couldn't express yourself effectively, or you had to be more mature than you were because of the living circumstances. Maybe you were the oldest child, one of the oldest children. You grew up in a household with a lot of kids, or you grew up in a household where you had to raise yourself, or you had to raise children. Release all of that frustration. Release how hard that it was for you growing up in a space where you deserve to be a child. You were unable to be a child because you had to be home to raise kids, or you had to do anything that required you to provide a safe living means for yourself. Maybe your mom was always at work and her income was the only income that you had. Release all of that fear that you didn't even know was turning into anger. So you mad at all that anger that you had growing up, and then you go to school or you go to work or wherever it was, and then a bitch want to make it hard for you. A bitch got some shit to pop off, but you just literally had to do something to provide for a household, and it took away from your childhood. Release all that. All the time you was probably left at home alone because mama had to be at work, and you left in an unsafe environment, not knowing what the fuck you gonna do, not knowing when your next meal is coming from. Release it. Release the times when you was with some kids and their environment was a little different, and then it came on to you and it was touching going on that shouldn't have been going on, and you just a kid and you just following it. Know that you were innocent and release that energy. Release wherever you feel that energy the most. Release that energy. Now for me, there was things that, happened. I've been working on myself for a while, so I have a tremendous amount of healing. But the spaces that I am still working on in between, like my thighs, I can feel it, the outside, like around the crevices. And there's some work that needs to be done on the inside, but release it, baby. Release it. And you just release. You always release it. Release those emotions. Release those energies that you felt. If you need to cry, then do that. If you need to cry, don't hold back from your emotions. If you start to get angry, allow yourself to feel angry. Allow yourself to feel that hurt. Allow yourself to be mad at the people who did it. Allow yourself to be mad at the people who should have protected you. Allow yourself to be upset, to be confused, and release all of those energies, and just know you're not wrong for feeling like that was fucked up. You should not have had to deal with it. No, it's not just life. People will say, oh, but that's just what happens, or it happens to a lot of people. It happens a lot, but it shouldn't fucking happen. But it did. But we releasing that energy. So that is one thing. Release however much you feel that you need to release. If you got to release every morning before work, if you have to release every morning, after the kids go to school, or just whenever you get that time, release that. Release how shame you felt when those situations were going on. Even if you had something going on and you liked it at the time, but you didn't realize it was wrong until you got older, release those feelings of that enjoyment. Release it like, damn, that was not right. And then release the shame that came from it. If you are somebody who suffered a miscarriage or stillborn or any traumatic experience due to birth, release those energies. Just keep releasing. And do that as many times a day as you need. Every time you think about it and it bother you, release that shit. Tell yourself, I'm safe, I'm good now. If you gotta talk yourself through it, like I told that bitch what the fuck was going on and she ain't do shit about it, release that shit. Tell it to God. I knew that shit wasn't right, how I was living. I used to hate having to do this. It used to make me feel upset, but I went to school every day with that shit on my back. And just release it and know that you're never going to repeat the habit again, that your kids will never know that. Or release the patterns, even if some of your old ways affected your kids. It's okay to grow and learn. Release it and pass the healing tradition on to them as well. Release the energy from your womb, from all the stress of maybe you had to live out of survival. Maybe you've just been stressed. Maybe you've taken on responsibilities. Whatever it is that has caused you stress, living paycheck to paycheck. Release all of that. Release all of the anger that has came with that lifestyle. And after you release it, as soon as you get a chance, connect with yourself and mother yourself also in the process. As you're releasing, restore yourself and tell yourself, I didn't deserve that, but I know that I am safe now. I didn't deserve at no point of time to be taken advantage of. I didn't deserve to have so many responsibilities on me at a young age. I deserve to be a child. You have to mother yourself. That safety that you were seeking for when you was growing up, give it to yourself now. Tell yourself that you have it. If you don't feel like you have it, ask God, God, please show me how I can give myself the love that I've always been missing. I've always wanted a good relationship with my mom. How can I attain that even if she don't give it to me? How can I attain the love and protection from my father that I never got to experience? God, how do I give that? How do I feel that? Ask for that. Ask and you shall receive. I believe that. Connect with yourself. You show yourself that affection. You have to mother yourself. Saying affirmations to yourself, reassuring yourself that you are safe, reassuring yourself that you are protected, releasing the fear that anything that happened to you will happen to your children. It ain't gonna happen to them because you make sure every day that it don't. You a good mama. You a good woman. We just had some trouble along the way, and that's okay because we've been raising ourselves. So you connect with yourself, and in the process of connecting with yourself, I cannot stress this enough. I always say baths, taking a spiritual bath. When you're in there, that water, along with other combinations that'll help you cleanse. If you like that, if you built like that, you know what I'm saying? Salt, crystals, black crystals, rose quartz. Rose quartz will bring love. The black crystals will absorb the negative energy. Florida water, creolina, just a cat for creolina, and there's all types of herbs and liquids that'll help you cleanse, but just using pure water is fine. and you go in there however you need to. And when you washing yourself, wash all that energy of them nasty ass people, and you're gonna have to keep on doing it. Wash your mind. When I say wash, I'm talking about imagine the water cleansing those hard parts. Imagine the water cleansing through you. So if you're somebody who takes a shower, imagine that water cleansing your womb. If you got one of those heads that you can take it off, put it directly on your womb and imagine it cleansing and purifying your womb, the area that hurt. If you are somebody who may feel a little pain somewhere, or even if you're somebody who cramps on your period, where you feel those cramps, cleanse it. Imagine the water cleansing whatever it is that hurts. Whatever hurts in your womb. If you somebody, you may feel a little pain during intercourse, cleanse that area. And I do want to go on and say this. When I was in high school, I want to say up until I was about 23, 24, my cramps were really bad. And as I got older, they would progressively ease. It started to ease as I got older. When I started healing myself, I wasn't cramping, to the point now I don't cramp anymore when I have periods, because I've done so much womb work. I've done so much vaginal work. And so now I've done so much releasing. I've done so much cleansing, purifying, and restoring. I don't have cramps anymore. But when I was in high school, nigga, them motherfuckers used to be bad as fuck. I used to hate having to go to school while I was on my period, because it would just be motherfucking hurt, and it would always hurt before my period would come on. So that's how I would know my period was coming, because I would start cramping like a day or two before, like, oh shit. And so I would just be cramping. I would always, sometimes have to take a shit, and it would help like alleviate it, like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But as I started to do womb work and healing work, I don't suffer from cramps anymore. And I'm not lying to you. I am telling you this is why I do this, because we don't deserve to hurt, especially as women. We got way too much shit going on, way too much shit to take care of, to be sitting there over a motherfucking cramp. So I am a believer that the reason why we cramp is because we have trauma in that area. I can vouch for it. I done been through some ugly ass shit that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Been through some ugly ass shit, and nobody could nurture it but me. And when I did, I was able to heal that. But before I healed it, I was hurting. Not only was my period uncomfortable for me, but sex was uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say it was uncomfortable, but there was just this little pain that I would ignore. Like, sex was still enjoyable for me, but it would be this pain that I would feel on like the right side of my vagina, but I was able to ignore it. When I was starting to heal it, I think I can't feel it no more. I can imagine I probably can't, because I ain't had sex in a minute, bitch. Mind your business, you know what I'm saying? But when I heal those, I can definitely say that I no longer cramp. I can definitely say I no longer have yeast infections. When I was in high school, I used to suffer from yeast infections. I used to suffer from itching and scratching and an odor. When I was in high school, I was like, I wash my pussy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Why is it like this? You know what I'm saying? But it was because I had trauma stored in my hips. And a lot of people won't tell you that, not because it's always about keeping information, but because a lot of people just don't know. They think that odors are normal. They feel that cramping is normal. And I'm telling you, pain is a choice.
I want to clarify that pain is a signification that something is wrong. And when you notice that something is wrong and you continue to ignore it, then you are choosing it. If you don't choose to go about healing it or go about diagnosing it or doing something about it, is what I meant. So pain is an indication that something is wrong. When you choose not to investigate that, it becomes a choice.
It doesn't have to be there. Pain is not normal. It can be if that's what you believe. But if you believe in a life of ease and peace and enjoyment without trauma, it exists. And I'm living proof. My cramps used to be bad. There was things that happened. And because of those things that happened, I fell into poor practices because people around me didn't know about how to care for these type of things, nor did they know the extent of the drama. I just wasn't taught that. Also, stress. When I became an adult, I didn't know shit that was going on. I literally had to figure out everything by myself, how to live and survive. And when I was out here, I was stressing a lot in the beginning. When I was 20, 21, 22, I was stressing a lot in the beginning because I thought, okay, I'm supposed to be rich now, and I wasn't rich. And I'm living paycheck to paycheck, car breaking down. It was like nobody taught me about all of these things because I grew up in an environment where all of these things were taken care of. So when it was happening to me, I didn't have a safe environment to say, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with that? So I learned quickly that I had to do it myself. And that affected me in my womb area as well. So I will say that cramping, it's not something that's normal. If you're cramping, that's a signification that something is wrong. It's something in there. Something is trapped. That is also part of that. And you can use the tub to, rinse that. Also, on top of the tub, cleansing, mothering and nurturing yourself and releasing, pray. The power of prayer, baby. When I tell you, speak. There was something, there was something that was said, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me for years. It was in the Bible. I believe it was in the Bible because I used to go to church and stuff, But it was something that was said, and it stuck with me. And it was like, the tongue has the power of life and death. So be careful what you speak. If I tell you, we speak things into existence all the time. The power of words, the power of prayer, everything, whether you want to admit to or not, where you are now in life, you worked for it. I heard somebody say that too. Everything that you received in life, you worked for that. You worked for it. And you spoke that into existence. The power of prayer, the power of words, the power of writing. Pray over your vagina. Pray over your womb. Pray over your womanhood. If you don't know what to say, baby, join me right now. And we're just going to go off the dome with it. God, I ask that you give my body, my womanhood, my vagina, my pussy, however you comfortable talking. God, I ask that you help me heal the areas that hurt me. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be there. Even though my mama failed me, whatever it is, Even though my mama failed me, God, I know now that that's not how life was supposed to be. So I asked you to give me another opportunity to cleanse and to renew my body to a state of purity of where I started, but with the awareness of how to keep protecting myself. Remove all that hurts me from my womb. Remove all that imbalances me. And I ask that you restore me with the love that I should have always gotten. Restore me with the love that I desire now. Restore me with the purity. God, align me with the love that I am choosing. God, connect me closer to you so I can no longer feel these pains. If you gotta cry, then you release it. You can cry to God. God is real. God knows shit be fucked up out here for real. If you can't be real with nobody else, you can always keep it real with God. Keep it real. If you need help and prayer guidance, let me know. I got you. Once we done release, cleanse, connected with God and say our prayer, take care of that space. Take care of that space. I'm not going to say make a drastic change in the beginning and you used to eating burgers and fries and then the next day now you just eating broccoli. That's not what I'm saying. But make sure that you incorporate the vitamins, the minerals that your body need. Some people may not want to hear it, but diet does play a part. Diet does play a part. It plays a part in your vagina and womb health physically. You know what your body needs. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, don't take a drastic approach and just, if you're unable to do it. Some motherfuckers just built like that. They could just change like that. But for the ones who need to ease into it, nigga, ease into it. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, well, you're an adult. You should just be able to do this and do that. Do what works best for you. Not everybody can just make change overnight. So what I'm saying is, let's say you're somebody, bitch, you gotta have your crab food, not your crab food, your seafood. Let's say you somebody, you know, you like to eat your baby back ribs, all that. I'm not telling you to get rid of it, but as much as you incorporate that in your diet, it's okay to make a plate of broccoli, put some cheese on it, just eat it. Fix it to your liking, at least, and just eat it. Even if you start off, okay, I eat like a bowl of broccoli twice a day. You can still eat your food, but make sure that you are at least starting off with a cup of fruits, vegetables every day. Maybe you start off with just 1 cup a day and you progress. But as much as you are eating that bullshit that may not be the best for you, make sure that you are incorporating what is best for you. If you're going to eat your seafood, baby, eat your seafood. Make sure it got that corn in it. If you're going to eat your oxtails, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, that's cool. And I'm not saying just put the broccoli with that. I'm talking about fruits and vegetables intentionally at some point. Maybe you can start off in the morning, you make you a juice, and then you eat the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But incorporate, taking your vitamins, drinking water. And I'm not saying cut out the things that you like, but what I'm saying is add in the things that you need as well. It's okay to go 1 day without eating like bullshit. Let's just say you have 1 day of healthy. Okay, you did that. Let's say out of the 7 days, you take 2 or 3 days. Okay, all I'm doing is eating my fruits and vegetables, you know, that's all I'm doing today. And then you can go back to doing what the fuck you do the next day. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So you got 2 to 3 days. That means you got 4 or 5 days when you eat how you used to. Ain't nobody saying change or alleviate yourself from what you're used to and what you like, but take your medicine. It just take one day. It just take a cup. Fruits and vegetables. That's what's going to help. Another thing that started to help ease my cramps, because I got my times when I go all out. Like, I still eat meat. But I got my times where I take a month and I'm eating vegetarian, vegan, where I'm juicing, where I'm really on it. It might be 2 to 3 months. Okay? But then I might go to a party with my sister and there's some chicken wings up in there and like, hey, we up in that bitch. And I'm going to eat them chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I don't eat is pork. That's the only thing. But if that's what you do, it's okay to take some time out from the food. If you really enjoy that food, you can enjoy that food. If it's really that important to you, or if it's a culture thing for you, if that's just all you know, it's okay to get to learn what your body needs, what's going to be good for you, what's going to keep your heart running. Your kids need you now, but they really gonna need you too when they are an adult and they start having kids and they gonna have questions and they gonna need help. And we still want you, the queen, to be here because you are needed. So make sure you're taking your vitamins, drinking that water. You still want to drink juice? Okay, drink your juice, but make sure you getting that amount of water that you need. It'll help with, your face and all that shit. So do it, baby. It's okay. I ain't saying don't eat this, don't eat that. Because, bitch, I'm going to eat this and eat that. But at the same time, I'm going to take care of my health first. I'm going to prioritize my health. I'm going to still get what the fuck I want to eat, but I'm going to prioritize. And I don't have a problem because I like to eat healthy. Okay? Even if you somebody, well, I don't really like vegetables. Okay, well, you get a fruit. Eat a mango every here. You know what I'm saying? Get something every here and there, like an apple a day, a mango a day, a peach a day. Get what it is that you like and eat that shit. Take care of that womb because that body, she needs that. She needs that and you need that because you was a goddess. Another tip and pointer that helped me after doing all these things, I use my crystals. As you can see, I got that shit on. Yeah, because the motherfucker be liking to hate. So I gotta absorb that energy. Okay, so if you hate on me, bitch, guess what? It's absorbed and transformed to positive energy. Okay, use your crystals. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Okay, so this is a carnelian. This is a rose quartz, okay? Now, first and foremost, let's get into this because people be like, a rock, how is a rock? First and foremost, don't insult God's creation. Everything that is of earth, it holds energy, it holds frequency. You hold energy and frequency. The trees hold energy and frequency. Why a bitch want to talk about a tree? Do you understand that a tree provides us with oxygen and it's just a tree? So what else you think God's nature is doing for us? If it wasn't for nature and rocks, then David wouldn't have killed Goliath. We don't know what would have happened. It holds frequencies, okay? Colors hold frequencies. Your favorite color is because of a frequency that you hold or a reasoning that you have. All of it is frequency, okay? If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't, baby. I'm just trying to help, okay? It helped me. I hope it helped you. So as a feminine energy, these two were very vital for me. The carnelian is the color orange. Orange is the color of the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra deals with creativity. The sacral chakra is the womb. That's where we carry babies. You see how I said the sacral chakra is creativity? The babies be created where? They created in them motherfucker. All the DNA from that nigga that we fuck is created up in here. Creation. It's our creativity. They say when singers sing, you know what I'm saying? You gotta sing from down here. Okay, I'm just kind of going off a little. But Your desire to create, your desire to be creative, it starts in the womb. To enjoy. So the carnelian, I would always probably put it in my belly button, but you know, the sacral chakra is a little lower than that. So I will put it on here, and you got to connect to the energy. You have to feel. And when I say feel, like, okay, how can you feel energy from a rock? All right, you know when you go in a room somewhere and ain't nobody says shit to you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody saying shit to you. But you can feel the energy in that motherfucker. You know whether this motherfucker finna be jumping or is busting, or when you finna have to bust somebody ass. You can feel the energy, like, okay, this shit, feel the energy, okay? It's the same shit. When you can read a room, when you can truly read energy of people, of environments, you can read energy of anything. You can read energy. You can feel the energy. The best, the empaths, they feel energy from anything, everything that is of God's creation. Everything has frequency. You can take it in your hand, you can put it on your womb, and you connect to it. As I ask that you help balance my sexual energy, help balance my creative energy. But before I will use this, to balance. I use this is the rose quartz. This is your best friend as people, but to connect with feminine energy, to connect feminine source, to connect with motherly energy, maternal energy, the rose quartz. She is also good for the heart chakra. If you need healing there, you can put it in that womb. Ooh, baby, yeah, I feel that. If you could just feel the energy of love and maternal in a rock, let it feel you. Let it feel your body. Let it feel that space. The areas that it hurts. Even if you got to put this in your coochie, baby, don't be shamed. If you got to put it in your coochie, ain't nobody got to know. But even if you got it in your coochie, let it sit in there for a little bit. Let me show you something. You see this? This is my rose quartz dildo, I guess. Now, I don't have an electric rose and nothing like that. Yes, I'm an analog bitch, okay? I do things manually. By preference, you know, if you have an electrical rose, use your electric rose. I'm just saying. But you can also have one of these too, because I'm finna give me an electric rose. But you can always have one of these too. I got this off of Amazon. It was like $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, like $99. You know what I'm saying? Whew, baby, if I tell you this thing has helped heal me. Yes, I've used it to masturbate, but I've also just used it, you know, put it up in there. And okay, that was kind of sexual, I'm sorry. But I just use it and you just say, God, please help heal these areas. It's a wand. You know what I'm saying? You can use it to activate your altar if you about that life. You can use it to activate your altar. But you can put this rose quartz in there. Hold it because it's heavy. It's heavy. Don't, you know, and you just put it in there. And you meditate, you feel the energy, feel the love. Feel the energy, feel the love, feel the healing properties. If you need a website that tells you about crystals, crystalvault.com. Whatever you need from any crystal, all you got to do is ask. And you're not asking the crystal, you're asking God. But you're talking, you know, hey, crystal. Talking to God. Crystal, I ask that you heal my intimacy issues. Do it as much as you need to. Your healing journey, it ain't no microwave. It ain't no TikTok video. It ain't no Vine video. It ain't no 6 seconds, no 30 seconds, no 2 minutes of no healing. You're going to be healing a lot. Especially if you somebody who started healing later. If you somebody who didn't start healing till your 20s, who didn't start healing until your 30s, you're going to have to work with yourself every day. And it's okay. Give yourself that love. Give yourself the love and the patience that you need. And when you stick this in there, you can stick it in there. Even if you may have some trauma in the behind area, you can stick this in there too. You can stick this in there and it'll help you. It can help heal the root chakra as well. They have different ones, I think, but the rose quartz is really good for the vagina, really good for the womb. And look at it as healing as well. God's nature is healing. We want you to heal. Crystals are good. Other crystals that are good for the vagina because of the root chakra, which anybody can use for root chakra, are any red crystals, jasper, garnet, red tiger's eye. Those like red crystals, they are really good. Now, sometimes you have to tap in and feel that energy, but sometimes black is gonna be a good bet because black is great for grounding. So sometimes red may not be the best for you depending on the state of your root chakra. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's frequency. And the root chakra may be a lower frequency, deeper, darker, you know. But crystals did help me with my healing. And I hope that it helps you. If you need any knowledge on crystals, you can hit me up, you know what I'm saying? Or you can look on Crystal Vault. You know, you can do Chat GBT. Like, she be doing her thing, but she sometimes got to be corrected. And she don't know everything like they think she know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good resource, but you got to be cautious of her. But crystals is something that helped me, and so I'm just giving it to you if that's something you want to go and try that for yourself. So yeah, so those are my tips and pointers on healing your womanhood. When I am referring to womanhood, I'm referring to the vagina and I'm referring to the womb, because those are our portals as women that gives us the direct source to the divine feminine, That's what I mean by womanhood, that connects us to the divine feminine, but it grounds us in the physical. So, you know, that's just what I'm referring to when I say womanhood, the areas between, you know, the hips, that gives us our emotions, that helps us with our intuition. That intuition ain't being assisted by nobody but that pussy, that womb, that's that pussy helping the foundation of your intuition. So I do hope that this will help. I do want you to know, if you blame yourself, don't blame yourself. If you think that shit was normal, struggle was normal, because we say, like, if we've been children who grew up in extreme poverty, we say that's life. Okay, abundance is life too. Love is life too. Being blessed and rich and prosperity is life too. Poverty does not have to be life. It is the reality of so many people, but it is beatable. It is beatable. And even though your parents may not been able to give you that foundation that you needed, I hope that this will help you be able to create and give yourself that foundation that you need. And I'm not only just talking about money. I'm talking about energetically, that love, that safe environment that you should have always been protected. I hope that you are able to receive that in abundance and give yourself that in abundance. The environment, the life that gave you that trauma, I hope that this guides you at least to the healing that you need. The prayers, however it may go, please know that you ain't stupid. Please know that it wasn't your fault. Even if you was young, oh, well, I shouldn't have been doing that. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you were taken advantage of. It's not. I don't give a fuck if you was 21, 22. No, it shouldn't have happened. Growing up, and you was always in survival mode, even if you didn't experience the intimacy trauma, that was not right either. Those who need to take accountability, you give those people the accountability, but just know that you as a child did deserve better. Just know that you in your innocent state deserve to stay innocent. Even if some other little kid came and, well, you know, we both was young, that child deserved to be protected and loved. Unfortunately, they brought it to you, but just know that is not your responsibility. And just know that the healing that you need exists. So I hope that you watch this video as many times as you need to, and that you are aligned with the safetyness and the love that you deserve. And so be it. Baby, if you need some prayers, baby, you know I got you, here for you. But may you continue to be in alignment, or start your alignment of having a prosperous life, having a healed life. May you receive the joy that you always deserved, and recreate and restore what was always rightfully yours. And so it is. I send you true love, true peace. I send you true alignment. And we in that bitch. And so it is.